Okay? They are appearance of reality. What is real is that which is unnameable. You might say, but isn't the sky nameable? No. The sky is not nameable as sky. There is no sky. There's only space. Do you understand? There's no sky. If the earth was upside down, which of course it is every 24 hours, we still see it up there. But there's just space. Sometimes we say the sky is blue. Of course there's no blue. There's just depth. Okay? But it appears blue. So we got the idea of what is real. What is real is that which is obvious, but not to the mind. Because the mind lives from labels. Today I'd like to explore the thinker. And I know for a fact that if we were to understand who the thinker is, honestly, I can almost guarantee it that you'll have so much greater peace in your life, so much greater ease and relaxation if you know who the thinker is. But very few people ever do. Let's talk about, first of all, what makes a thinker. Okay? Every human goes through billions and billions of impressions. It's called conditioning. Not only religion, parental, nationality, training and all that. This is all conditioning. All this conditioning, every slightest conditioning creates a thought. Okay? Creates an impression. Now these impressions are floating in space in the trillions. In fact, you find that if you go to the beach, there's a different energy than if you enter a house. Okay? And you'll find from every house you enter, there's a different vibration altogether. Why? What makes a difference? Because the impressions in an enclosed environment become very intense. And similarly with the body. When the body begins to relate to its conditioning and then thinks about it, which creates a thinker, then that means not only are you totally immersed in that environment, in that process, but to you it is real. You see? Which becomes a belief. So, the process of the thinker is this, that thoughts are crossing your mind all the time. There isn't a time when you're not thinking. Thought is what makes the world. Immediately you just have to look. And the moment you look, you've already had so many impressions go through your mind. For example, if you look at anyone in the room, immediately there's a judgment made. Okay, about that person. Not necessarily good or bad, just some form of judgment, comparison, analysis, or whatever. This is immediate. Okay? You can't help that. The moment you're aware of something, you have created a structure in your mind. Okay? So, that means that it has become real to you at the moment. Okay? Unless, of course, you become aware of it. Now, this is what the thinker is. The thinker means that these thoughts are crossing your mind all the time, but you never grab anyone or anything, any thought, so you're not really thinking about it. The thinker comes into being the moment you become aware of a thought, and then you think about that thought. Are you with me? Okay. So the moment you start thinking about a thought, you have created a thinker. But let's go into who is the thinker? What is happening? You see? This is what's going to make it very, very interesting. And the moment you understand it, you can never be the same. That's how beautiful it is. Okay. So, there's a question was asked of me regarding this. Someone emailed me and said, thoughts are continually coming and going. When we think about any thought, we are the thinker of that thought. The thinker means we are the thought, and at that moment we feel, behave, and see only from that limited vantage point. Can you ever stop this process? Can you elaborate on the thinker aspect? He asked. Okay, so let's go into the thinker. Is there a difference between thinker and thought? I'd like your input. There's no right or wrong. Just say whatever you feel.
No, aren't they the same? It takes one to have the other?
Yes. But doesn't that apply to everything in life? Isn't everything one?
Mm-hmm.
So everything relates to another thing. Everything is in relationship all the time. You see? So we can say, yes, it takes a thought to make a thinker. Yes. But are they one?
No. What if thoughts happen spontaneously without identification? And where's the thinker?
That's right. There's no thinker then, is there? So, and thoughts are happening spontaneously, but you never stop to think about them. Okay? They're just happening all the time. Without thought, there's no world. Did you know that? The world is thought. I mean, that's a given. The reason we see the world is because we think all the time, and we've established that reality. You see? And what we see is not as real as we think. You know, I had quite an experience about a month and a half ago when I lost my sight. And what does this eye, you know, I couldn't open it because I would get very, very dizzy, and you know what. But the moment I open it, things became much larger and a different color than this. So then I began to realize, my goodness, if I lived from that eye all the time, it would alter reality to me. You see, so how real is real? And then it eventually, the last 3 weeks, it has the split vision has come back to normal now. I don't know how it started or ended, that's not important though. The point is that now it is normal, but what is normal? You see? And how do I know how you see things? I don't know how you see things. I know how I see things, you see? And what is interesting now is when we begin to see from a vantage point without a thought, and we be able to see the difference between thought and awareness, then we begin to expand and see that, is there really an I? Okay, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. So, who is the thinker? Okay, there's actually no difference between ego and thinker. They're both the same. They're exactly the same thing. So we can say, what is the ego? Okay, or who is the ego?
Who we think we are.
Who we think we are. Yeah. So we really think we are an ego. Now this is where I'd like it to be very interesting. Okay? Is there really an ego? Is there really a thinker? And how does the formation happen? Now you begin to feel this when you answer the following question. What is the difference between awareness and knowing? What is the difference between awareness and knowing? Now if you can answer that question really from your heart, you'll begin to know who the thinker is.
Knowing is absolute. It's the truth. There is no questions with knowing.
Yeah.
Awareness would still ask some questions because it's almost like the beginning.
So you're saying that awareness of something then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, I'm talking about awareness, just awareness. What is the difference between awareness and knowing?
Awareness is open. Knowing is, I should say, absolute.
Okay. Let's go on from there. So what is the difference between the two? What is the difference? What is the difference, Bill, between awareness and knowing?
I don't think there's any difference. We're just saying the same thing.
The same thing. But this is the important thing, okay? I was trying to trick you so that we can go deeper, all right? There is no difference between awareness and knowing. For example, how do you know you exist? Because you're here. You know you're here. What is that? Is that a memory? Is that an ego that answered that one? Is it a memory? Is it a belief? Is it a thought? No. It's a knowing. Why? Because you're aware Got it? What you're aware, and knowing that awareness is knowing.